Hey guys! Cherry Bomb Cosplay here again, and Anime Expo is basically in 2 days for me, and I have to start packing today because I leave tomorrow for the hotel. And so I'm stressed out. Obviously you can see I just don't even care what my hair looks like right now. I just pulled it all up as quickly as possible. So, anyway, I'm going to begin my mini-series today. I'm starting off my 10 video mini-series today, and it's called 10 Cosplay Tips and Pointers. Today's video is going to cover one of the most important essentials of cosplay, in my opinion, planning and making the cosplay. Number one, I would like to point out that this is by no way the definitive way of planning and making a costume. This is just what I do because this is what works for me, and hopefully, you can take some stuff from me and apply it to your own cosplay, and how you make it. But again, this isn't the definitive way, and this video isn't like the law. It's not God's word. It's just my opinion. Now, I know that not everyone makes their own costume, and that's completely okay. Not everyone has the time, not everyone knows how to sew. However, since many people, especially that I know, like me, we make our own costumes, this video is mostly for people who make their own costumes. You can obviously watch it if you don't make your own costume, but this is really aimed towards people who make their own costumes or are interested in making their own costumes in the future. Alright, so let's begin. Number one, planning your cosplay. After choosing your character, which I'll cover in another video, you'll need to start planning how you're going to make your costume and how much materials and patterns are going to cost. Always start with a set budget, or how much you're willing to spend on a costume. For example, I'll use Elizabeth from Bioshock Infinite. For the Comstock dress, the one where she has the short hair and the corset, I did not want to go over $100 for my cost of fabrics and patterns and props and everything. I ended up spending only $70 because I had a set budget instead of $100. I had a set budget. I knew what I was looking for. I'm like, I'm not going to go with real velvet because it's so expensive and I cannot work with it for life. I can't work with velvet. True story. I've done it once, never again. But because I had a set budget, I could avoid buying overpriced and unneeded materials. Like, I wasn't like, okay, well, let's see, these two look amazing, Like, I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't have a set budget and I don't know what my plan is, who my character is, I had a set character when I went shopping. I had $100 in mind and I only spent $70. It's always important to budget. Even if you don't think it's important to budget, trust me, it really is. It will save you so much money in the long run. Know where to shop. Well, knowing where to shop is going to really be covered extensively in another video. You always want to try to shop at an affordable place while getting the good quality materials. That being said, if you are looking for cheap materials, you obviously will not get the best quality materials, but as long as they're good quality and they don't look bad in pictures, and they don't look like it's bad, I guess, Party City Halloween costumes, you should be fine. Know what you need. Always know what you need. Always. You can't just be like, well, geez, I want to do this version of this character, and halfway through you're like, never mind, I want to do this other version of the same character. This is going to help the cost of materials, and it's going to help you avoid unnecessary items. For example, I've made that mistake plenty of times before where I bought patterns because I was iffy on cosplaying a character, and then it's like, oh no, I never used a pattern. Now that we've covered some of the tips that I've done, how do I say it? I'm so dumb. I am not thinking right now. Okay. Now that we've covered planning your cosplay, and not extensively, mind you, this is just a tip video. Here are some tips for making your cosplay. When cutting your fabric, always use a pattern. Always use a pattern. Either make a pattern of your own or buy one, but use a pattern. Do not just cut from... Trust me, I've done cutting like without a pattern. Like, let's say like, here's my friend's Booker ascot. Yay, and I'm wearing a Lutece shirt. So this is like Bioshock Infinite Day. I mean, it's a little long, but he is taller than me, like by 10 inches. So yeah, it's not the best, but you know, it'll work. It's not short. It's actually pretty long, and he is taller than me, so that will make it look shorter. Anyway, this was just me cutting from a piece of paper. Don't do that. That's so awful. Always use a pattern. This is what happens when you wait till the last minute to make stuff. And when you're using a pattern, you always want to cut out one size bigger than you are. So I'll be using this pattern, which is actually a Edwardian replica. It is advanced, so unless you know how to like sew like amazingly, I don't recommend doing this as your first cosplay. I'm actually using this for a more historically accurate Rosalind Lutece, the skirt actually. But yeah, you always need to cut one size bigger than you actually are. And I'll show you right now. Please tell me this has... Oh joy. Here it is. Here's one. Okay, so this is the hem binding for the skirt. And you can see the numbers right here, like 12, 14, you know, my camera's shitty. Okay, so I'm a size 10. I'm petite. I am a size 10. I am small, but I always cut a 12. So what I do, I know some people actually cut like the pattern, but I like to fold it. I can't believe. So I fold it to a 12 because when you're sewing, it's going to eat your, like, how do you say? It's going to eat your fabric. So that means it's going to turn out much smaller than you actually expected it to. So most patterns do come in a size 8 to 16. I know there are more patterns that come in like 4 to 16. I've never bought patterns over 16 because I don't need one. But I'm sure there are patterns out there that are 16 to 20 or something. But anyway, yeah. That's why you always need to cut in a size bigger, because your sewing machine, when you're sewing, it's going to eat the fabric. Because with hems, with seams, with doing everything, you know, like folding the fabric, folding it again, you have to cut it so it's close to like the little stitches so it doesn't have like that excess material out. It really helps if you cut out at least a size bigger. Sometimes you might need to go 2 sizes bigger if you really don't know what you're doing. Just in case. Remember, you will always make mistakes when you sew. And that is a fact of life. So better to have excess material than to not have enough. Alright. So I covered that. Seams are so important. I cannot stress how important seams are. While it might be tedious and a hassle because seams are so difficult for me to do, I'm just like, how do you make this seam? Like, fold, fold, fold. They're so important. Seams help give your costume a finished, polished look so it doesn't look like it was half-assed. Seams are very difficult to get perfect. I know that as a competitive cosplayer. I'm always, they're flipping my seams. It's like, don't touch my costume because the seams are so bad. And seams also help your fabric prevent bleeding. What I mean by bleeding is like, if you cut fabric, you know that they have like, when you cut it, it has like thread that's out. you know, it's like hanging loose from the fabric. That's what I mean by bleeding. If you leave it like that, the thread will get longer and longer, and it's going to look really bad, and it can actually turn into a safety concern if it gets long enough because you can trip on it or something. Especially if you're wearing a super long skirt. I would know. Learning from my mistakes so you guys don't do them. Take your time making your cosplay. Most cosplayers stress about finishing a cosplay before a convention. However, when possible, take your time making your costume. Rushing it does no good. It makes it look bad. It's just, I am not a procrastinator. I do not know what it's like to finish your costume a minute before the con. I never have, and hopefully I never will, because I know how to manage my time. And I'm not saying cosplayers who finish their costume at the last minute are bad cosplayers. I'm just saying that it's best if you finish your costume, I'd say at least 2 weeks before the convention. 1 week, sure, but the day before, no. Just try to manage your time. Time management is a skill that is not only good for cosplay, it's just good for everything you do. Trust me. Work at your skill level. If you are a beginning cosplayer and you want to make your Stormtrooper cosplay from scratch, I don't recommend it. It's your choice, but I just don't. Instead, you might want to start something simple, which brings me back to this. As someone who has been sewing for quite a long time, I can work with this. I know how to read the patterns. I know how to improvise. This is stuff I've learned, and I'm not saying I'm better than any beginner cosplayer because that is not the truth. I've just had more experience. Therefore, I can work on more difficult costumes than someone who is just starting out. For example, a great beginner's costume might be a simple outfit from Bleach, like Orihime's simple outfit. I think I read Bleach a long time ago. I don't remember, but her school outfit. That is a simple outfit. I'd even say Rapture Elizabeth really is a very simple outfit to make. You can actually buy a white collared shirt and alter it if you don't want to make it from scratch. Those are simple costumes that you can make in a day or two, and it's not difficult. You can work with very easy patterns. What I love about Butterick is that they actually have like what skill, like how advanced it is. So you could also pick a pattern that's easy to work with, you know, not like something you have to like add like God knows how many buttons to it, and then you have to cut out the little buttonholes and everything. It's just simple. You can start with something simple, and you will start acquiring the skills you need to create a more complex costume. Every time you sew, you get better at it. Every single time you do something, you get better at it. Every single time you make a prop, you get better at it. It's all about working. Patience is key in cosplay. Patience is key. There is no shame in making a simple cosplay. No shame at all. I don't like to make advanced cosplays. I really don't. I prefer sticking with the simple ones. But I mean, even the ones that look simple do get a lot of. You have to devote a lot of time into making even a simple cosplay. So there's no shame in making a simple cosplay because you worked your ass on it and it looks amazing, and you're like, you can say I made this myself. And there is no greater feeling than getting complimented at a con, no matter what skill level you are, saying that looks like an amazing costume because it was made by yourself. These are just a few tips I have on planning and making your costumes. Again, this is not the word of the Lord. This is not absolute. This is just my opinion. If you have any other tips, questions, or ideas, don't hesitate to leave a comment or contact me on my Tumblr or DeviantArt. Thank you all for watching, and see you guys next time. I'll probably have an Anime Expo highlight video. One of my friends is filming me in the masquerade, so hopefully I'll have that up soon, you know, my skit and everything. So I cannot wait to upload another video. Thanks for all the support. I have like one video up, and I think I have like 3 subscribers already, so that means a lot. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you later.